Good evening, I'm Laura Greene. This is London Tonight. An amateur diver from London has died and 4 others are in hospital after an underwater lesson went wrong. The 35-year-old victim, part of a group from the capital, was certified dead on arrival at a naval hospital. The accident happened off the coast of Littlehampton in West Sussex.
The divers set out on board the Voyager earlier today to continue their diving training. They were around 8 miles south of Littlehampton when one of the divers got into difficulties. The exact chain of events isn't clear, but confusion followed, and as the men battled to save each other, one of the divers was found lying unconscious on the seabed.
We transferred all 5 of the divers to Haslar Hospital. Unfortunately, the doctor met the aircraft, pronounced 1 dead on arrival. The other 4 are still, we believe, under observation in the hospital.
As the drama unfolded in the water, there was another crisis in the air. The automatic power control on one of the rescue helicopter's engines failed.
Well, it's very unusual. Although we practice it in our licence checks every 6 months, it is an emergency procedure and it's not something that we would expect to happen.
All the men are believed to be in their 30s and to come from London. Tonight, 4 men are still being treated here at Haslar Hospital. One is thought to be an instructor, another the dead man's diving partner. Tomorrow, the investigation will begin into how a training course ended in tragedy. This is Holly Lewis for London Tonight.
A religious sect stands accused tonight of brainwashing converts and breaking up families. Betty Miller says she's lost her 24-year-old daughter Lucy to the London International Church of Christ. And Rosina Archer from Harrow blames the church for her son's suicide after he leapt from a bridge to his death.
Dear Mum and Dad, I'm sorry, but I have to end it. I have no real friends and no girlfriend. It all happened when I turned a Christian.
Rosina Archer reads the suicide note left by her son Manny before he leapt to his death 2 months ago from Tower Bridge. Rosina says his problems began when he joined the London International Church of Christ, a religious sect which later threw him out.
We've always blamed the church, yeah, because if he didn't go to the church, we won't have all that problem.
Betty Miller is another grieving mother, although her daughter Lucy is very much alive. She joined the church, which demands total commitment, forsaking friends and family. They give 10% of their salaries to the church and try to recruit at least 5 new members a week. The so-called church uses meeting halls like this one in Euston for services. They preach they're the only church, the only true believers, and that anyone who disagrees with them is simply wrong. Former cult member Ayman Akshar now runs a group called Triumph Over London Cults.
Their main aim in reality is to get as much as possible money, power and control over people's life. They use what is commonly known as the mind control technique or psychological coercion, whereby within, relatively speaking, a very short time, your ability to make decisions for yourself is totally eroded.
At home in Beckenham, Mrs Miller is launching her own campaign against the cult to warn others. She's written to every MP and hopes for lottery money to fund her campaign. We asked the London International Church to be interviewed, but they refused, offering instead to meet Mrs Miller, something she'd rather not do. This is Rebecca Smith for London Tonight.
The driver of a high-speed train which crashed, killing 7 people at Southall, appeared in court today to face manslaughter charges. Larry Harrison, who's 51, was driving the Swansea to Paddington service when it collided with a freight train last September. The case was adjourned until July. A West London council has become the first in Britain to elect an all-powerful US-style mayor. The Labour leader of Hammersmith and Fulham, Andrew Slaughter, was elected to the post tonight by councillors from all parties. He's likely to receive a £40,000 a year salary for the job. And before we go, just time to let you know about tomorrow's programme. We'll have a special investigation and confront the modelling agency whose so-called scouts illegally trawl school playgrounds and corridors trying to sign up young hopefuls. That's The Model Salesman tomorrow on London Tonight. That's it. We're back with bulletins tomorrow morning in GMTV, but until then, have a very good night.
Carlton weather, sponsored by Sea France, Dover Calais Ferries. Hello again. Well, many of us here in the southeast got wet on the way to work this morning but had a dry journey home. Tomorrow I think it'll be the other way around. Dry in the morning but some very heavy showers later in the day. As far as tonight is concerned, most of the showers fizzling out now, temperatures down to around 7 in places and a few mist patches around as well. But tomorrow morning looks okay at this stage. Most places will be dry, a little sunshine around too. But as we go towards the latter part of the morning, the showers will begin to develop, and then through the afternoon there will be some very heavy showers around, especially to the north of London with some thunderstorms in places. The south of the region may just see a bright end to the day as some sunshine creeps in from the south and east. Temperatures tomorrow up on today's value, 16 perhaps at best, and that's around 61. But watch out for those thundery showers. Good night.
For a more detailed 5-day outlook, call Weather Update, sponsored by Sea France.
Travel Update in association with Business Pages.
Hello, good evening. New roadworks have started on the A41 Finchley Road in South Hampstead, northbound at the junction with Canfield Gardens. And gas repairs are now underway on Plaistow High Street. In Twickenham, roadworks at the junction of the A316 Chertsey Road and Witton Road caused a 2-mile queue today, so worth avoiding tomorrow. And in Harrow, work continues on Lowlands Road, Besborough Road and Peterborough Road. Cricket is being played at both Lords and the Oval, so you can expect busier traffic than normal in the St John's Wood and Kennington areas. And in Covent Garden, the London Transport Museum has family fun days with guided tours and exhibitions running until Sunday. That's it for this evening. Good night.
Travel Updates with Business Pages, helping you to work.
I'll love you all my life, Clive.
Dangerous emotions run deep.
Who is he?
I'll find out! You know I will! There can't be anyone else for either of us.
I just want to know why! If you want someone disappeared, all you have to do is name them.
Forgive me.
The Ruth Rendell Mysteries, Tuesday at 9 on ITV.
There's an important difference between loafing and laziness. Loafing is a noble art form which has to be worked at, but can give you success without the stress.
Harrow, let me buy you a drink, old man.
Thanks, I'll have another. You see, and once you've mastered its finer points, you can just sit back and enjoy life's pleasures. Like Strongbow, maximum refreshment, minimum effort. Lovely. Loafing, you should try it, it's great.
Eaton? Thanks very much, I'm starving.
Table for two, please. Whew, that was close. Nearly hit the antique.
And now, new small-size Pringles. Absolutely stacked full of chips for when you're on the go, so when you can't stop, you can still pop.
You're watching Carlton, where now Bob Wilson presents The Big Match.